Good afternoon, it's Karen Richardson here, and we're here together. We're going to talk about intuition today. We're going to talk about what it is, how you use it, why you should use it. There is so much power that can be drawn from using your intuition, basically. And I just really want to go over, how to recognize it. What is it exactly? I'm not sure any of us really know, if I'm honest, because, it could be described as so many different things. It could be, some people will say it's your subconscious, others will say it's God, the source, the universe, the collective consciousness. It could be maybe all of those things. Maybe it's your angels. To be honest, it doesn't really matter where this inspiration, where this intuitive power comes from. The fact is, everybody has it. Everybody has it. Just not everybody has developed the skill to use it properly. It's one of these things that's been buried with the use of the rational mind, the logical mind. It just doesn't make sense. And quite often, what comes to you intuitively goes against everything that seems rational to you. I see I've got a few people come in. Hi, Adele. Hi, David. Nice to see you. And look, I can do that now. That's cool, isn't it? All right. Okay. Thanks for dropping in, guys. Do say hello. Do tell me where you're coming in from. Love to hear from you. If you've got any comments, if you've got any questions, just drop them in the comments, and of course give me some hearts and all that good stuff. All right, okay. So, I just discussed that we don't know exactly what intuition is. All we know is everybody has access to it, but not everybody uses it. Now, there are different types of intuition that come into you. So I thought if we kind of go through those, and it might help you identify what resonates most with you. I find it comes in several different forms. Hey, John. I love your dedication. That's amazing. 12:02 a.m. All right. So we've got clairsentience, and that is to do with feeling. And have you ever been in that situation where you've got, I've got a gut feeling about this, or it's kind of a feeling in your body that you will tend to notice more. I've got a bad feeling about this. I feel good about this. That is your intuition talking to you through your body, through the feelings in your body, and that is one way of receiving intuition. Then there's clairvoyance, and that is actually seeing things, pictures in your mind, pictures that come into your mind. There's also clairaudience, where you might actually hear something, it's like a voice in your head telling you something, and that doesn't mean you're completely nuts. Trust me on this one. I'm hearing the voices. No, you're fine. It's good. And the last one is claircognizance, which is this kind of knowing, and it's this, this overpowering that you just know something is right or wrong. And I actually have some examples where I've, had touched on all of these in some way, but that knowing one was really quite a big one for me once, and it was a massive life changer for me. And there's my dad as well. Hi, Dad. And I had an experience, and this was actually before I worked online. Now, for most people, they start working online, then they leave their job, and then they do it that way around. No, not me. No, I just had this incredible feeling. I remember I was in the office. I was a school secretary. I was sat in the office in front of my computer. Now, I had some difficult times at that school. There'd been a lot of bullying going on for some reason. The office gossips and not very nice people, they tend to hone in on me for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, so I had some bad times there. But on this particular day, I was absolutely fine. I was happy. I was content. I was calm. And I literally just sat there. And it was like this knowing came over me. You're going to resign today and it's going to be fine. Now, at this point, right, my husband was self-employed. I knew nothing about online marketing. I just knew there was something more out there for me. That's all I knew. That is it. That's all I knew. And I knew it was going to be fine because I had this feeling that it was going to be fine. Now, some people are going to turn around and say, that's nuts, that's bonkers, you can't just rely on that. Well, I did. And I just thought, do you know what? I'm going to go with this. I just felt it was the right thing to do. So I literally sat at my desk, I typed out my letter of resignation, I went and handed it in to my boss. I did a quick email to my husband just to say, oh, by the way, I've resigned today. He was very supportive, thankfully, but no, he's a good man. And at that time, he still is self-employed, still in the same business. And it wasn't going amazingly well. But by the time I left, because I actually gave about 10 weeks notice, I didn't have to, because I worked at a school. I just thought, well, I'll work to the end of the term, and it was about 10 weeks. So, and by that point, my husband's business basically tripled. And we were fine, we were able to pay the bills, didn't need my income. And during that time, I stumbled across online marketing and I thought, this is it. This is what I'm meant to be doing. Didn't happen straight away, I have to admit, it's something that built up for me. And that was, that's such a clear indication of just, acting upon my intuition on something that most people would say, that is absolutely crazy. And Dave, absolutely unwavering inner knowledge. And it really was that feeling. Now, how you get to feel it, it might be a different way, but, there are ways to kind of identify how to pick up, Have you ever felt in your life that you've had a bad feeling about something, but you've gone and done it anyway, and it hasn't worked out? Or the reverse of, you felt that you've wanted to do something and it's turned out really well. I'm sure if you think about it, there are lots of incidences where you could probably pick up, I was getting kind of an intuitive feedback there. And that's the other thing, when we say about it is receiving intuition. It's kind of, for me, it's getting a download sometimes, usually in the shower for me. I have to say my downloads tend to occur. And this is usually when I've asked the question. And, this is one of the important things that you have to do. You have to ask your intuition for guidance. Now, on the case where I left my job, I wasn't asking. It was just so strong. I couldn't ignore it, But a lot of the time it's very, very subtle, and you have to be aware and you have to pick up on it. So you have to ask good quality questions. And for me, actually, last night, and a good time to ask is actually just before you fall asleep. And you've got to let it go as well. Don't hang on to that question and start thinking about it, because then that's your rational mind kicking in. You literally have to ask a question to your intuition, to source, whatever, however you like to think of it. Ask the question. And usually my question, when it's concerned with business, what's my next step? I don't care. I don't need the entire plan. Just what do I need to do next? Now, I've been doing this for the last, month or so, and I'm gradually building a picture of what it is that I'm trying to achieve. And Dream Hacker is very much a part of this. Again, this was a very intuitive move for me that actually it started with this book, Expert Secrets. I remember I was sat there and I was meditating, and I was like, I don't, what do I need to do? I don't know what, I feel stuck, I'm not sure what my next move needs to be. And if my intuition could have screamed, pick up that bloody book. And I knew it was this one. It was looking very pretty on my bookshelf, unread. And it did. And I've actually read about the first 3 or 4 chapters, but actually that entire first few chapters completely inspired me and has now actually put me in momentum and got me on a roller coaster. And this is how it works. I think we get so hung up on the big picture, on how we're going to get there, when all you need to know is the next step. And last night I did this as well. What's my next step? I've got this idea. I've got this lead magnet. I know what to do. I'm a little bit nervous about Facebook ads. And my intuition, literally, it showed me a memory. And that memory was a course I bought 4 months ago. Now, the reason I never started that course was because I bought it on the Friday and I was going to start it on the following Monday. And actually what happened that following Monday was the day my mum had a bad accident. And for those of you who don't know, she was in a coma, and it was bad. And so that went completely out of my head. And that's why I haven't even looked at it till now. I'd forgotten about it. But it just kind of ping, this is what I actually dreamt about the course as well, the guy who runs it. And I thought, oh, yeah, okay, I get the message. That's what I need to do. And this is the kind of thing you need to pick up on. Another thing you need to look out for, because it doesn't always come, in through the mind, through the body. It doesn't always come into you like that. I always say, stop believing in coincidence, right? If you're seeing coincidences, that is a message coming through to you. That is something that you need to sit up and take notice and think, what does that mean? What does that mean to me? Why do I need to know this? Now, I remember talking to a friend of mine, an online friend of mine, and I messaged her and I think, I think you make a really good coach and maybe that's something you should look into. And she said, oh, that's a coincidence. Such and such said that to me yesterday. And I said, well, it's not a coincidence. That's what you should be doing. This is you being given a message. So if you're getting things like that happen, coincidences, take that. Now, going back to my mum when she had this accident, and I know my dad will remember this so clearly, it was the worst day. It was the fourth day. She was in the coma and we'd been broken the news that she had been given a 3% chance of surviving. The outcome was the other 97 was either she was going to die from her injuries or she was going to be severely brain damaged and, not the sort of existence that she would want to live, she'd want to have, And my dad and I were broken, that just completely tore our worlds apart. And I know, although I wasn't actively asking, the question in my heart was, is she going to make this through? Is she going to make it through? And I'm sure that was the question in my dad's heart as well. We went and got into the car. The song playing was I Will Survive. Now then my dad switched and we didn't it didn't register at that moment. And then my dad switched his iPod on or his iPhone and started playing off his playlist. And the next song that came on was Maggie May. Now my mum is Margaret. And the first words of that song are, wake up, Maggie. And we just looked at each other and we went, we'll take that. We will take that. That is a message. And sure enough, she's back with us now. She's probably about, 70, 80% whole. There's still a few things that need to fix and mend, but she came back to us. And that for me is being intuitive enough to pick up on those signals, because I think they're around us all the time. Now, if you are given a message or you feel a knowing or you feel an impulse to do something. And this is the other thing, when someone asks you a question, you remember when you're at school and you say, oh, I'll give you, and the same actually, I did this last 2 lives I did, I was asking you questions to help you access kind of your inner power. And I always say, write the first answer that comes to your mind, because that's your intuition speaking. If you wait, your rational mind kicks in. Intuition works like that. It gives you an instant answer. So, these are things you need to look out for. Now, the next thing you need to do when you get these messages, right, you have to do something about them. You have to act on them, right? You have to act on them, because I believe intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it, the more you attune to it, the more you actually say, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to act on my intuition. The more it will start coming into your life. And I'm kind of in the middle of the process where I still think it's the coolest thing. I just think, I'm actively using it. It's beginning to come more naturally to me, where I don't even have to ask. Things start happening. I'm noticing it, it's coming across my path and I'm picking up on it. And, it's only because I made a decision, I'm going to start using my intuition. And maybe the first question is, help me use my intuition more, effectively. I know when I'm in the shower, like I say, when you ask those questions or you're looking for guidance, you have to let it go. You have to say, there it is. Okay, bye-bye. I trust, and have faith that the answer will come back to you. And inevitably it does, usually within for me, it's within sort of 24 hours or less, that you get the answer come to you. But that is so important, is the letting go part, because otherwise people tend to overthink it. And we've talked about this before, overthinking can absolutely kill intuition dead. It can kill your ideas. It can kill your passion. You can overthink anything and talk yourself out of anything. Now, when you get those flashes of inspiration where you get an idea, write it down quick so you don't forget it, and try and act on it as soon as humanly possible. You know, these are the things that we seem to be missing in day-to-day life. When we're acting off our intuition, it's very rare that we go wrong, you know. And this is how I've started living my life, certainly in this last, you know, month. It's something since, you know, I went through a lot of rubbish in the last 3 months. I've just thought, do you know, I really need to focus on this. I need to, well, not focus. I mean, that's kind of the opposite of it, isn't it? But you know what I mean? I need more of this in my life because I know it's taking me on the right path. And it is having that faith, that knowing that everything will be all right if you act on your intuition. You know, sometimes things are thrown into our lives to throw us off. Well, it seems like they're throwing us off course. And actually what it's doing is bringing us onto our path that we should probably be on, that we should probably be finding. You know, this is where we talk about that alignment and flow. When you're acting on your intuition, it's just easy and it's fun, you know. I mean, when I handed in my notice at the office that day, it was kind of exciting because I thought, I have no idea where I'm going with this, but this is exciting and kind of crazy. And isn't that just a better way to live your life? You know, I think the rational thought, the logical mind actually comes in and it wants to keep us safe, and it keeps us in this predictable place where we know what's going to happen each time. But, you know, predictability, it's kind of boring. And if you start living along, you know, aligned with your intuition, your life is going to be more exciting. It's going to be more fulfilling. You know, you're going to wake up with a lot more passion every day because you're going to think, oh my God, this is so exciting. You know, I've just been directed in this direction. Where's that going to take me? You know, you might be driving home from work or something. Your intuition says, don't turn left here, go right instead, and just follow it and see where you end up. You know, this is it. And to a degree, what's happened, what's a little bit scary is that you've probably noticed, as I say, I've got this Dream Hacker, brand now that I've started. And it's kind of away, not entirely away, but from where I was going. I was very much going down, you know, teaching marketing, internet marketing, that sort of thing. But this is so much more in alignment with who I am, and it feels good. And I love sharing this stuff with you guys. And I know I'm attracting into my tribe really cool people who love this stuff, who dig this stuff, and who are going to join me. And what better thing is there than that? And hi, Natalie. Hi, Alison. Lovely to have you here as well. And Alison, thank you. Absolutely spot on with this. Thanks very much. And Natalie says, when I'm struggling with something or a situation, I've now started singing to myself in my head the Bob Marley lyrics, everything is going to be all right. Yeah, absolutely. And it does, you know, yeah, why not? You know, when you start doing things, and you don't have to, you know, it's kind of finding that stillness. Yes, I do meditate daily. That might not be your thing. Maybe walking in nature is your thing. Maybe you enjoy a good drive. You know, these are ways that you can access your intuition, is finding that inner stillness, that inner peace, that thing that you know, where you find that calm place inside of you, whatever that might be. You know, people get really hung up on the whole on meditation thing. I don't. I sit there with headphones on. I usually have a guided meditation going, and you know, it's kind of a calm place for me, but I find it out in nature. I find it when I'm driving. You know, it is just getting, you know, to that place where you can allow the feedback to flow. But I have to say, when it does flow, I don't usually find it comes in those quiet moments. It will come at a different time. That is just allowing the access and all that kind of thing to come in. Like I say, most often it's in the shower. You know, ask a question. If you've got a problem or you're looking for a solution for something, ask before you go to bed. That's what happened to me. You know, I got the answer that I was looking for. And so I've started acting on that today. You know, don't be afraid to really sort of, you know, just look for a new direction on life. You know, it's kind of taken me a bit of a twist and a turn, and I'm feeling much happier where I am. I know I'm in the right place now. I'm totally aligned. I'm following my intuition, and you know, it's really amazing. So, you know, just to recap a little bit, you know, look for the physical signs. I talked about coincidences. You know, if you're seeing coincidences, you need to sit up and pay attention to what is coming through, what you see. You know, what's the message here? If you're asking for a solution, you know, it doesn't automatically come into your mind. Sometimes it might be a phone call from someone saying, hey, look, you know, have you ever thought of trying this, that, or the other? Maybe that is the way it's coming into you. You know, it's an incredible universe that we live in, and I think, you know, there is this interconnectedness going on. That when you put it out there, it's not just coming from your subconscious, you know, not just source, but we're all connected, and perhaps someone else has heard your question in their subconscious, and that's why they get in touch with you and say, you know, I thought about you, and I wanted to phone you up and tell you this, but maybe there was a message inside of that. As I say, you can get these deep feelings, this inner knowing, you know, that something's good, that something's going to happen, or that it's okay to do something, or that you should do something this way. Maybe it's a picture that flashes into your mind, which is what happened with me this morning when I thought, well, I don't know what my next step is. Can you tell me what my next step is? And it sort of showed me this this image of this course that I'd signed up for, I'd completely forgotten about. And just to back that up, I actually saw an advert for the same course on Facebook as well. And I thought, okay, that's confirmation. You know, if you're seeing things twice, it is a confirmation of what you're looking for. So yes, ask the questions, just learn to tune in, understand it. You know, think of a time when you did act on intuition, that something worked out. When you didn't act on intuition and something went wrong. I'm sure a lot of you can actually, you know, pull in those moments and think, okay, yeah, there was a message there. I can work with that. And finally, act on it. It's a muscle. Get it going, you know, get it working for you so that it just comes commonplace, that you just get used to working with it, that you get used to seeing the signs, that you just start picking up on this stuff naturally. The interesting Albert Einstein quote, and actually, do you know, half the time I don't know what I'm going to talk about on these lives, and yesterday I thought, what should my life be about? And I saw this quote by Albert Einstein, which was, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honours the servant and has forgotten the gift. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, absolutely. You know, intuition. And I actually have a Wayne Dyer daily calendar. And so I don't know if you can read that. It says, when you think thoughts that are in spirit, they reflect a vibrational alignment that moves you in the right direction. But if you begin observing your thoughts and realize that you're going in the wrong direction, you can make a U-turn with new thoughts. But I mean, basically that is talking about inspiration. It's talking about intuition again. And that was, 22nd of January, that was yesterday's post-it. And I just thought, okay, that's what I'm going to do my talk on today. So there you go. Listening to my intuition, plugging in there. I've just made some notes. I just want to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. With marketing, you know, a lot of people who are on my timeline, you are marketers, whether you're in network marketing, online marketing, kind of a message I wanted to give to you. You know, a lot of us are in the same opportunities, selling the same products, and you know, we talk about personal branding, but what better way to identify what your personal brand should be and is by asking your intuition. You know, ask for the direction. Where am I going? Who's my avatar? You know, and this is kind of how I arrived where I am with the Dream Hacker and sharing this stuff with you guys. When I joined the Super Affiliate Network and I just had instant success there, that again was an intuitive move. I just saw, you know, coming into my news feed, I saw people with lots of leads coming up, and I just thought, you know, I'm going to reach out and speak to them. And they said, right, this is what we're doing. I just went, give me a link, I'm signing up. And that was, again, totally intuitive. It was absolutely the right move, because as soon as I went in, I loved what I saw. You know, the training is phenomenal. And it was just so easy for me to communicate that with other people. And that is why I joined the Super Affiliate Network. And then I actually had more, you know, how I should talk about my successes rather than just saying, hey, look at all this money I'm making. You know, I actually did a video on feng shui because I cleared out my feng shui abundance corner. And that's when the success first started. So that's, again, it was more kind of along the lines of the dream hacker stuff. But then I got pushed off course. And you kind of think, oh, I've got to do the real, techie marketing stuff. And that wasn't right for me. And now I'm back. I'm back to where I started. And I'm not going to be pushed off course because you don't actually realize it's happening half the time. So, you really have to trust what's going on the inside, and just put it out there. And, don't be afraid. This is really going to help you be different in the marketplace. This is really going to help you, find your authentic persona, if you like, your brand, your authentic brand in the marketplace, because you're going to be talking about stuff that's you're passionate about. Doesn't matter what it leads into, what products you're selling, what affiliate opportunity you might be with. Because at the end of the day, people are going to be attracted to you. They're going to be attracted to what you're putting out there, and they're going to want to know what you're doing, and they're going to want to be in your team because they feel so aligned with what you're doing. And, this is a huge tip I'm giving you here, because I do believe DreamHacker is bringing together these messages of the digital economy, the beauty of it, the way we can make money these days online, and, accessing all this incredible spiritual stuff that's going on, the intuition, the inspiration, and all these kind of things that you can do to enhance that and get those messages flowing inward. So, guys, it is about tuning into it. It's about, actually when you get those flashes, because they tend to be flashes, is writing them down, acting on them as soon as you can, asking the good quality questions. All right, so that is really it. And oh, what a great calendar. It is a great calendar. I love it because every day it's a different message. And I keep my favourite ones. I just sort of pin them up around me. But it was really nice having, as I say, it was that confirmation that I saw that quote from Einstein about, intuition, and this one from Wayne Dyer. And I thought, oh, there you go. That's what I'm going to be talking about today, because I know a lot of people have trouble accessing it. And it's, as I said, it's like a sat nav. You just tell it where you want to go, and it will find the quickest, easiest, most fun route for you to get there. You just have to trust it. You have to take faith in it, and you have to, take action on the way it's guiding you and what your steps should be. And my biggest question is always, what's my next step? So I would advise anyone, okay, what do I need to do next? What's my next step? Make that a regular question on a daily basis, or when you feel stuck, what do I need to do next? And you will find the answer comes through. And Natalie says, what better than to have Wayne Dyer guiding you daily via a calendar? I know, what a beautiful man. Yeah, absolutely. And he was obviously a very intuitive man and very inspired. And yeah, what better role model, basically. So yeah. So that's it from me. Guys, have you got any questions at all? I'd love to hear from you. I see we've got 17 of you on the live, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm really grateful to have you all here. I just thought, actually, one thing I read about, which is interesting, a bit out there with the whole woo-woo thing. The intuition is to do with the third eye, which is also known as the pineal gland. And it's been said that in modern society, our pineal gland has shrunk, it's become calcified, and that's why we're not as intuitive as we once were. And apparently one of the ways that you can, grow your pineal gland, decalcify and all that sort of thing is sun gazing. Now, I'm not talking in the middle of the day when it's blinding, but it's actually watching sunrise and sunsets. And apparently that's supposed to lift your vibration, and it's supposed to help, clear that pineal gland. And I just thought that was kind of cool, really. And it's quite cool to think if you're looking at a sunset or whatever, that you're doing actually something useful and good for your intuition. So there you go. Just a little side note there. And David said, fantastic, Karen. Thank you. You're very, very welcome. And so we'll get out there and watch a sunset later if we get one. Mind you, it's a bit grey out there if you're in the UK. I'm sure you've probably got rain clouds, so we might not see one today. So yeah, I hope that's been useful to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me again. It's been a lot of fun as usual, and I will see you next time. Take care now. Bye bye.